I know, you've been waiting for this one. These are the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones, and I've got lots of thoughts. A few weeks back I reviewed the Bose QuietComfort Ultra earbuds and I was absolutely bowled over by them. The sound, the noise cancelling, the comfort, I've not stopped using them since. But that leaves one massive question unanswered because these are the Ultra earbuds and these are the Ultra headphones. So if these are so absolutely amazing, surely these are too. I'll come on to that in a moment, but very quickly, although this video isn't sponsored, I do have some fantastic brand partners who ensure I can keep making these free videos. One of those partners is Brain FM, and Brain FM is a music app which pumps music into your ears that makes you more productive. It sounds like utter rubbish, I know, but I cannot work without that app anymore. I won't say anything else about it because you've come to hear about these, but if you're struggling with productivity and you do a lot of writing, a lot of intense work, I cannot recommend Brain FM highly enough. And you can get a tasty discount via the link in the description. So with that out of the way, let's get into these. Okay, so the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones cost £449.95 in the UK. That makes them 150 quid more expensive than these, 130 quid more expensive than the QC45s, which I absolutely love, and £100 more expensive than the brand new QuietComfort headphones. They're made from aluminium, leather and plastic. The battery life is 24 hours with a quick 15-minute charge delivering 2 hours. They've got Bluetooth 5.3. They're compatible with SBC and AAC codecs. They've got Bose's legendary noise cancellation, which is Bose's own words, and they have custom modes for that noise cancellation and an aware mode. They also feature spatial audio, or immersive audio as Bose calls it, and they have a custom tune technology which auto adjusts the sound based on the shape of your ears. When it comes to the positioning of these in Bose's lineup, which I know a few of you are a little bit confused about, in Bose's own words, the Ultras offer the most premium design and the most advanced technologies for the best Bose listening experience in a headphone. So, what makes them special? Let's talk design, and these are definitely a step above the QC45s. There's more metal on display that you can see here, and the leather is definitely more premium, and there's more cushioning. So there's more cushioning on the headband, there's more cushioning on the ear cups, and they are incredibly comfy. I've been wearing these for long stretches of time while writing and doing that sort of stuff. They never fatigue, they just feel lovely on the head. They work perfectly with glasses, which I know a lot of people are worried about with headphones. In terms of battery life, they're not the longest on the market. We're getting lots of headphones now with 30, 40, 60 hours of battery life, but to be honest, I've always said 20 hours and above is enough for anyone. When it comes to controls, we have a mixture of buttons and touch sensitive stuff. So we have a touch sensitive slider here for the volume, which works very well and is out of the way, which is the most important thing. And we also have two buttons. So we have Bluetooth and this button here, which works for play, pause, go back a track, go forward a track, turn noise cancelling on and off. The only thing that's missing is a power button. We do get a power button on the QC45s. It's not really a big deal that it's missing from these, and it does make them look cleaner, I guess. They turn themselves off when you basically fold them up and put them into the case. I've had one instance where I think they've remained on and my phone has connected to the headphones in the case, but that's only happened once in quite a lot of use, and compared to the Sennheiser Momentum 4, where it happens all the time, it doesn't seem to be much of an issue. When it comes to the case, it is utterly fantastic. It's pretty much the same size as the QC45 case. You just get better materials. This is how you do it. The only other thing to mention when it comes to convenience is the fact that when you take these off your head, the music pauses, and when you put them back on, it resumes. That should always be the case. So in terms of design and comfort and convenience, you're already getting a lot for your money, but what on earth do these sound like? Okay, so straight out of the box, if you don't do any EQing whatsoever to the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones, they sound incredibly middly. So that mid-range, that presence is very, very present. Now for me, it was a little bit too much. So straight away, I went into the Bose app and EQ'd them. And if you're interested, I set the bass to +2, the mids to -3, and the treble was left at 0. And this is where they came alive for me. It's important to remember that sound is incredibly subjective. I always have to add that caveat into these reviews, because you could take my opinion of the Ultras and run with it, but equally you may prefer that middly sound that you get from these out of the box. It might be perfect for you. And don't get me wrong, they don't sound horrible out of the box at all. They sound very impressive, but for me, I just needed to get that little dip in the middle. Another thing that I've noticed about these is that they are incredibly loud. So occasionally people ask me how loud headphones go, which bothers me because you don't want to damage your hearing. In fact, all headphones I've tried go loud enough. These seem to go beyond that. They seem to go to 11 on the dial, and for the first time in a long time I had to peg back the volume while listening to these. But in terms of that sound, it is incredibly impressive. It's a very wide sound stage. The detail on these is incredible. You can pick up every single instrument, every breath of the vocalist. The bass is very controlled and typically Bose, really, insofar as it can go very deep if it needs to on tracks like Unfinished Sympathy, but equally it can punch through very nicely with normal kick drums and bass. And there's real weight to the sound as well, so it feels heavy in just the right way. It's a very typical Bose sound in that respect, but everything is just turned up a notch in terms of quality. And yes, I do have a headphone killer test track, which is called Breathe Again by Pop Evil. The QuietComfort Ultra earbuds smashed that, so did these. But what was interesting is when I tried these against the QC45s, because the QC45s are 130 quid cheaper. They're a bit cheaper than that if you shop around, actually. You can get these for a very good price these days. And as I've always said, they do everything very well, but they don't excel in the noise department. These do, and when you compare these against these, again, it's clear where your money's going. The QC45s just don't have the depth, the sparkle, detail, the width, just the sheer sound quality that you get from the Ultras. It's not in these. Now yes, I do need to compare these against the new QuietComforts, which technically sort of are an upgrade to these. I'll be doing that fairly soon, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell not to miss that video. But, well, there's something else to talk about when it comes to the sound. Just like the Ultra earbuds, the Ultra headphones have immersive audio. And this is basically Bose's version of spatial audio, and it's very impressive. There's 3 settings for this, or 2 really, because one of those is off. But the first one is called Still, and that is when you've got your headphones on, but it sounds like the audio is coming from in front of you. So it's like it's coming out of a pair of external speakers. It's incredibly difficult to describe unless you experience it, but it kind of throws the audio over there and fires it at your face. It's uncanny, completely mind-bending, but the still version of that means that when you turn your head, the sound stays there. So if you turn your head that way, the sound is still seemingly coming from over here. The second version is motion, which is the same thing, but as you turn your head, the sound follows you. And the idea is that this gives you a much bigger, massive sound stage, which works brilliantly for live music. So if you're listening to a live music album, it doesn't sound like you're there, obviously, but it just adds this other dimension to the audio. But where it really comes alive, and I think it's best suited personally, is for watching movies and TV shows. If you haven't experienced spatial audio before, you will be absolutely blown away. When it comes to noise cancelling, we can be very quick with this. These are industry leaders. The world goes incredibly quiet. There's next to no hiss. In fact, I don't think there is any hiss at all, which is quite rare for noise cancelling headphones. And they don't feel oppressive, so occasionally I come across noise cancelling headphones that have this kind of horrible clamping effect where you feel like you're locked in some kind of chamber. You don't get that either. And they have these brilliant custom modes. So if you go into the Bose app, you can set up your own noise cancelling. So for instance, you might want one for running, for walking, for working in the office. Basically, you can tune the noise cancelling level so you can make it less or more, and you can turn on something called wind block, which automatically adjusts the noise cancelling to deal with the breeze, and that works pretty well. And you can also use that button on the headphones to cycle between your own custom noise cancelling modes. It's very intuitive, it's very useful, and you don't get this on many headphones. What was even more impressive was the aware mode. And if you're not aware, if you excuse the pun, this is when you let the outside world in so you can be aware of your surroundings, and crucially, you can hear yourself when you're using these for taking telephone calls. And they work very well for telephone calls, but going back to that aware mode, finally guys, we have a pair of headphones that matches the AirPods Max transparency mode. This is a very big deal because I haven't found until now a pair of headphones that can match the transparency mode on AirPods Max. It seems to have been an impossible feat for the other brands, but Bose has finally done it. So when you turn on the aware mode on these, you can suddenly hear everything in very clear detail, and most importantly, you can hear yourself talk crystal clear. Okay, conclusion time. So, the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones are an incredibly expensive pair of headphones. The good news is, if you want a pair of Bose headphones and you want the best sound, the best comfort, the best noise cancelling, and the best ability to take telephone calls, and some extras thrown in for good measure, they are worth the price. However, they do have some big competition in the form of the Bowers & Wilkins PX7 S2Es, but it comes down to your choice of brand. You are either a Bose person or a Bowers & Wilkins person. When it comes to sound, there's not much in it at all. Design, the Bowers & Wilkins are a touch above these, but only a touch. None of that matters really, because you know if you want a pair of Bose, and equally you know if you want a pair of Bowers & Wilkins. However, if you want me to do a more in-depth comparison between these two, let me know in the comments below. But I think the biggest challenge, ironically, for the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones is the earbuds. These are just as good as over-ear headphones when it comes to noise cancelling and sound, which means the real choice is these or these. And to help you make that decision, keep watching for a link to my full review of the Ultra earbuds.